Genshin has gotten more and more and more on my nerves. And this time, they might have gone too far. What's going on, YouTube? Legend here once again. And I wanted to talk about Genshin and this whole Natlan drama that's been going on. Obviously, on this channel, I don't really talk about drama too often, but if there's something I care about, then I'll speak on it, you know? And trust me, I'll get back to my informative videos very soon, very soon. For those of you who saw my reaction to the Natlan teaser trailer there, saw that, like, I did voice that I was a little disappointed when it came to the lack of melanin within the characters. Now, after that, upon further research too, I started realizing more and more, because I'm no historian, and I started realizing more and more how much inspiration they were getting from not only just, you know, Aztec culture, Mexico, but also African countries too, right? And the more I kind of looked into this and realized this, the more I started to get a little perturbed. Now, for those of you who are unsure of what I'm talking about, Natlan is a region that's coming in Genshin. And although it is a fictional place, in a fictional world, each region within Genshin takes aspects of real world cultures and aesthetics and implants them in each region, right? So for example, you might have Leeway who has a big inspiration or big taking from China. For those of you who remember, you know, there was that big drama with Zhongli and how they feel that Zhongli wasn't representing China well enough, so they had to buff him. These places, they are inspired by real world places. And therefore the people from or are familiar with those real world places, they sometimes can be offended if they feel that their culture isn't being respected. And this goes for everywhere. Now, when it comes to Natlan, Natlan is a region that we can see based on the names, the clothes, the looks, and from previous speculation that Natlan is based on, you know, Mexican culture, history, when it comes to Aztec and everything now, and also different African countries. Like the character Ororun is inspired by this Nigerian deity right here. When you take from a certain culture, right, and you take certain aspects of it, you leave something very obvious behind, there's a problem with that, right? This is funny too, actually. Somebody in the comments has this going on here. Now, this by itself could be understandably overlooked, right? Because, you know, it could just be thinking like, oh, well, it's, you know, it's a Chinese game, so they're probably just gonna make characters look like them, you know? But when context is added to the fact that real world history has a knack for whitewashing things, right? And that's always been offensive to people of African descent, like, you know, me, of course, right? Like, for example, like, I'm Jamaican, but, you know, it all depends on how far you go back, because if you go back, then, you know, my DNA does say that, like, oh yeah, you know, you're from Nigeria. The history of, like, you know, taking from Africa and then erasing the history behind it, you know, there's a deep-seated history behind that, right? And to do that even in this fictional world is tone deaf, right? One of the things that people are asking of Hoyoverse to do is, you know, do more research when it comes to, you know, these cultures looking into. But I want to make one correction there, that Hoyoverse does do their research when it comes to this stuff. They look deeply into these cultures. They learn different practices. They take different names. They are doing their homework. So the fact of the matter is, that means that the decision to just regardless take away the color of the melanin from their skin is a conscious decision. This same thing happened in Sumeru, and I feel that the outrage from Sumeru was coming more from a loud minority. This time around, I feel more people are voicing their opinions. Now, if you take a look, this person right here actually made a thread, right? I believe they said they're Nigerian too, actually. This person actually made a thread based on all the different people who have been voicing their opinions about this. And it has become somewhat of a big thing, right? Many different CCs and VAs have been voicing their opinion. And then there's even people outside of the community, outside of the normal community, voicing their opinions too. We got the voice of Sucrose here, voicing their opinion. The voice of Albert, voicing his opinion. Voice of Yo and Mia, Sino, Albedo, even content creators like Tectone. You got Dish. You got Robbins VA. You got this. Sorry, I skipped over them. Now I don't know who they are though, but Navia, the voice of Cole. You got the voice of Sethos. You got the voice of Raiden. You got even Paimon jumping in on it. You got VAs for NPCs. And like this person, they even put together an email and showed it to us here. Let me move myself out the way. And they showed it to us here. They typed together a respectful email to Hoyoverse, which honestly I do implore people to do. Be constructive about it. Don't just throw insults their way or anything like that. Be constructive about it. Explain clearly your concerns and where your concerns are when it comes to this, because it's not good. It's not a good thing to do, because the fact of the matter is, people say one of people's opposing main arguments is that, well, you just leave the game and quit the game, so on and so forth, right? And even for someone like me who's kind of starting to teeter towards the edge of not wanting to play Genshin anymore, I don't think that's a solution, right? I don't think that's a solution, because people seem to be, their minds start to turn off a little bit when it comes to dealing with racist issues a little bit. And I say that because any type of problem that you have in your life, right? Any type of serious problem that you come across in your life, that ignoring the problem is not the solution. That is no way to ever solve any types of problem in your life, right? So why all of a sudden, when it comes to racism, people think that the solution is ignoring it? It doesn't make sense, right? If there is a company that is showing that, especially a company that you like, right, that is giving a product that you like, is showing things that you do not desire, that you do not respect, or doing things that you feel that is disrespectful to you or your culture, or even someone else's culture, it's okay to stand up for other people's cultures too. That's okay. It's an okay thing to do. When you see that happening, it is okay and encouraged to ask for correction, right? Now, if you're somebody that doesn't want to join in the fight, that you don't think is as big of a deal, that's fine. You can't tell people to care about certain things. But the fact of the matter is, stay out of the way of the people that are trying to say something, especially when it is a big deal. Because I think that's one of the most frustrating things, is when you have an issue, right, that people have been very clear about what the issue is. And there's those people who decide to jump in and say, hey, stop what you're doing. I'm not trying to have conversation to understand. I'm trying to stop you from doing this and belittling your efforts, right? Now, that is just forever frustrating. But yeah, and we have more people. Ziox, somebody who's not affiliated with Genshin, Layla's voice actor, Topaz Ambi's voice actor, Bwap, Goro's voice actor, and even voice actors of characters that haven't even come to HSR yet. Doro, Sevi Plays, Beto / Acheron, Zajef, Ren Taicho. All kinds of people have been weighing in on the situation. And, it's become a big thing, It's become definitely a big thing. And me personally, this situation has annoyed me quite a bit, to the point where it actually has affected my enjoyment of the region, to the point where this is one of the first time where I'm generally just not excited for a region anymore. I'm not, I care a lot less for this. And it's a shame, because when I first, when we were in Mondstadt and Leeway before Inazuma came out, and we had that Teyvat chapter trailer, Natlan was the region I was most excited for. Natlan was the region I was most looking forward to, because it seemed the most interesting. Volcanoes, lava, all kinds of stuff, dragons, I thought, wow, Natlan is what I want. That's what I'm waiting for, I want to see Himiko, I want to see Murata, I should say, I want to see the God of War, and I was very, very excited about that. Now that has just died down, mainly because there's blatant disrespect to people of my complexion, and It sucks. It sucks really bad. Even today they actually dropped the drip marketing for these characters, and I could care less, honestly. I don't think I'm gonna pull for any of them. And I'll say this too, though, like, if you do enjoy these characters, then go ahead and have a good time, right? Because they are good designs. They are good designs. Like, this character is cute. Like, this guy, his aesthetic looks cool. This is probably one of the cutest child characters in the game, in my opinion. I think this is one of the cutest child characters in the game, in my opinion. Now, but just the simple fact of the context behind it just ruins it for me. It just ruins it, and it's kind of hard to stand by it. It's kind of hard. It really is. It really is. But this is up for discussion, guys. I really just kind of wanted to. I mean, I really shouldn't be talking about this stuff right now because this is my birthday and I should just be enjoying myself. But I really did want to get this out and kind of get my thoughts out and start a discussion. So when I say start a discussion, that means comment as much as you want in the comments down below. Whether you agree or disagree, all comments are welcome. Unless you're just trying to like hurl insults or something like that, then. I can't do anything with that, But otherwise, discussions are open in the comments down below. So comment your thoughts. And yeah. And with that, I'll end it here. Legend out.